Kevin Gray, 105 The Fan. Jalen, when you look at what happened in Game 4 and then coming into tonight, what was the message among you guys about turning the page from what happened in Game 4 to come out to have the kind of dominant performance you guys had tonight against the Jazz?
After Game 4, locker room was quiet, but once we got out that locker room, kind of all understood that what was needed to be done. It's basically just, stick together, kind of regroup, get ready for tonight, and I think we did a good job of bouncing back. But they're a great team that's going to try and bounce back as well, so we got to be ready for that, and just have to have the same mindset going into Utah. It's going to be tough, but I think we're up for it.
The Dallas Mavericks absolutely obliterate the Utah Jazz in game number 5, 102-77, as Luka Doncic goes for 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists, as the Dallas Mavericks now take a 3-2 lead heading back to Utah on Thursday night after getting their most dominant win of this postseason thus far. This is Inside the Mavs right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. And you can catch me on your home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. The Dallas Mavericks were able to dominate with their defense, holding the Utah Jazz to their lowest scoring total of the regular season or postseason in the first half. They hold them to just 77 points in game number 5 as the Dallas Mavericks take a 3-2 lead going back to Utah on Thursday night. Luka Doncic going for 33 and 13 in just under 33 minutes of play. They were able to dominate from start to finish. They outplayed, outcoached, out-hustled, out-everything the Utah Jazz in game number 5 to give them a dominant 102-77 win going into game number 6 on Thursday. It was dominant from the outset. The Dallas Mavericks set the tone early with Luka Doncic back in the starting lineup once again after playing his second consecutive game after missing the first 3 games of this series with a calf strain. He set the tone early. An early alley-oop to Dwight Powell got things started, and the Dallas Mavericks were off to the races from there, although they did not shoot the ball great from the three-point line, only shooting 27%, nearly 28% from the three-point line, and just 43% overall. They had 21 unassisted baskets of the 37 baskets that they made in game number 5, so a lot of isolation, but at the same time, Jalen Brunson, who went 9 of 20 from the field, had 24 points. Luka Doncic had his 33. Dorian Finney-Smith was the other player in double figures. He had 13. He went 3 of 7 from the three-point line. It was a game where the Utah Jazz just simply could not get anything going. The Dallas Mavericks hold the Utah Jazz to just 10% from the three-point line, going 3 of 30 did the Utah Jazz in game number 5. Overall, from the field, when you look at their percentages, they just shot the ball 37%, going 29 of 77 from the field. The Dallas Mavericks shooting 43.5% in game number 5. But this was about the swarming defense. It was about the timely defense, and more importantly, it was about Luka Doncic, especially in the third quarter, where he scored as many points as the Utah Jazz did by himself. He scored 19 points in the third quarter alone and had a beautiful sequence at the 3:47 mark of the third quarter. Closed out on a block on a Jordan Clarkson attempted three-pointer. He gets the block. Then he goes down on the other hand and buries a 30-point jump shot for the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavericks just simply dominated from start to finish. Doncic in the third quarter alone went 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line, had 19 points and 3 rebounds. He was simply dominant in that period and helped put things away in this game. This game wasn't without a little bit of scuffle. Hassan Whiteside picked up a technical foul, 2 technical fouls after a foul on Luka Doncic. Dorian Finney-Smith came to the aid of Luka Doncic to protect his teammate. Reggie Bullock picked up his second technical foul after getting into a little bit of a shoving brouhaha, if you will, with Hassan Whiteside. But Reggie Bullock in this game did what he had to do, as he said post-game, about protecting his teammate. Dorian Finney-Smith saying the same. A team that showed why, that they played together, connected for one another, and they did so in a big way. Jordan Clarkson was really the only measure of offense that the Utah Jazz had in this game. He relentlessly attacked the rim, made some difficult shots on some really good defense, including a really difficult shot at one point on Josh Green, who played pretty good defense on him when he had the opportunities to. But at the same time, the Dallas Mavericks were able to dominate from start to finish. And one thing that was extremely key in this game, when you look at the rebounding numbers, The Dallas Mavericks out-rebounded the Utah Jazz 49-40, including on the defensive glass 38-33, and then on the offensive glass 11-7. Luka Doncic had 13 rebounds in this game. All 13 of them were on the defensive glass. He was an absolute eraser on the boards in game number 5 and was able to really help the Mavericks dominate when it came to the boards in this game. The numbers aren't necessarily going to look pretty from a game like this, but at the same time, the tone was set from the beginning and the outset that the Mavericks were going to take their opportunities in transition when they had them. They were going to able to attack the paint when they had opportunities to, and Luka Doncic did what he wanted pretty much throughout the game, especially in the third quarter. The Mavericks were able to turn the page after a difficult loss, obviously, in game number 4, where they blew a 4-point lead with 39 seconds left. They turned the page and set the tone defensively throughout the night against the Utah Jazz, who simply did not look like a team that should have gotten off the bus, let alone play in a Game 5 where they played completely uninspired basketball. Donovan Mitchell wound up leaving the game late with a hamstring injury. His status for Game 6 is going to be determined over the next couple of days. But give credit to the Dallas Mavericks and the way that they came out and was able to do everything that they wanted to do, especially on the defensive end, turning the page and getting themselves into the kind of mindset that they needed to be in order to play a terrific Game 5 in front of a raucous sellout crowd inside of the American Airlines Center, as you can see where I am currently as we're doing this video. So the Dallas Mavericks now put themselves in position, just like they did last year, to close out a series, and this time they look to do it on the road in what will be a tough environment on Thursday against the Utah Jazz. Can the Utah Jazz find any measure of resolve, because they had absolutely none in this game? They might as well have stayed on the bus, but let alone get off the bus and play the way that they did, because they were completely dead in this game, did not play with the kind of inspired fervor that you would need to play in a road game, trying to get yourself an opportunity to get back to your own building with an opportunity to close out. Now the Mavericks are the ones that have the opportunity to close out game number 6 and close out this series with the win. If they are unable to, they obviously will come back to the American Airlines Center with Game 7 in their own building. And I don't think you want to see the Utah Jazz take on this Mavericks team in a Game 7, especially after the dominant fashion that the Utah Jazz got dominated by in this game. The Dallas Mavericks in this game scored 46 points in the paint. Out second chance point, the Utah Jazz 14-8 in this game. Again, dominated in every single fashion and every single facet of this game, which gives you the idea that they can continue to do this throughout the rest of the series. What they will have to do, though, is be much better in terms of their shot making. A lot of missed three-point opportunities. They went 12 of 43 from the three-point line. As I mentioned, just 28%. Had a lot of good open looks in this game. Weren't simply able to knock them down, but they got a lot of their buckets in terms of isolation with guys like Jalen Brunson. Spencer Dinwiddie was able to get a couple of shots to go down, especially from the three-point line. But the penetration and the driving game of Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson was key for the Mavericks to be able to put the Utah Jazz on their heels. What I liked about in this game also, the Mavericks took their opportunities in transition to be able to get out on the fast break when they had opportunities to. And obviously the rebounding of Luka Doncic in this game was key, given his ability to set up the offense and be able to get the Mavericks in the sets that they needed to be able to run what they needed to in this game. So you give a lot of credit to Jason Kidd and this entire coaching staff. Sean Sweeney defensively continue to dominate opponents, and they did so. Can this defensive effort travel again to game number 6 to give them another opportunity to close out this series? If they can do so, the Dallas Mavericks will find themselves in good position to be able to walk out of Utah with a win. A team in Utah that appears ready to break. They were broken in game number 5 with the defensive effort, the smothering effort of this Dallas Mavericks defense. They will need to call upon that again to be able to put themselves in a spot where they can walk out of Utah with the win. Regardless, though, you love the mindset of the Dallas Mavericks. Did a much better job in game number 5, guarding without fouling, being able to not put referees in positions to make certain calls that went against them in game number 4. They were able to do the kind of defensive guarding with their rotations, their switches, the absolute smothering rotations that they had in this game. All of it was to near perfection in this game for the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic looked like his normal Luka Doncic self, a little Luka shimmy at one point after hitting back-to-back threes. As I mentioned, the sequence of blocking the Jordan Clarkson shot, coming back down to the other floor and knocking down a three-pointer. All the things that you expect Luka Doncic to do, he absolutely did them and more in this particular game. So give credit to what he was able to do in this game. So the Dallas Mavericks, who hold the Utah Jazz to their lowest scoring total in the regular season and the postseason in the first half. Their best defensive effort this season for the Dallas Mavericks, holding their opponent to 77 points. Dwight Powell was excellent in the first quarter. He went 8 points, 4-4 from the field. Everyone did a little bit of something in this game for the most part to contribute to what was a dominant win, a 25-point win in this game. Just to give you an idea of how dominant it was, Bojan Bogdanovic in this game went for a negative 37, 0 of 9 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. Donovan Mitchell in this game, 4 of 15, only 9 points in the game, and was a negative 38. That just gives you an idea of how stifling Dorian Finney-Smith's defense was on Donovan Mitchell, holding him to a negative 38 in a 25-point loss. The Dallas Mavericks will not practice on Tuesday. They will get back on the practice floor on Wednesday before they head out to Utah as they look for an opportunity to close out the Utah Jazz in their building in game number 6 on Thursday. Again, if not, we will be right back here at the American Airlines Center for a Game 7 to see if the Mavericks can win their first series since winning the championship in 2011. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Again, be sure to subscribe to Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. This has been another episode of Inside the Mavs right here on Kevin Gray Sports. We'll talk to you later. Peace.